Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, today is this the second Monday of the month or the third? Let me look. It is the second Monday of the month, which means it's time for Plant-Based Classics with Lauren Bernick, and she's going to be making what sounds like a mouth-wateringly delicious menu, Portobello mushroom fajitas with a pecan chipotle sauce and mango salsa. It sounds amazing. Hey, Lauren, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I want you to take my stand-up class with me next time.
Oh my God. I should never have taken what we do, improv. Now it's just letting you know I might do it.
You look great, by the way. I love your outfits. We should have, you should do a fashion show. You just always look so put together.
Thank you. So do you. You're adorable. You look really good in pink. That's your color.
If I can, thank you. That's what I'm told. Pink is my color. If I can find the photo, maybe I'll pull it up and even do a screen share of when I had hair like you back in the day.
That was funny. You had big hair.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And now I have little hair.
I know. Well, you could pull it off with your little hair.
Yeah, so it sounds amazing. I love fajitas, and at the restaurants here that can do SOS free, that's one of the easiest things for them to make is like vegetable and mushroom fajitas for us.
Yes, it is. It's easy. If they'll go ahead and let go of the worry that it'll stick to the pan, it'll burn and you won't like it and it'll look terrible. I'm always like, I don't care what it looks like. I promise you. So anyway, yeah, it's an easy thing to make, and it's easy to make at home. And the chipotle sauce gives it a kick. So
nice. Is portobello your favorite mushroom?
No, it's not. But for this, I like it. I did it with shiitakes too, and that was also good. So you can definitely do shiitakes. You can do this with whatever mushroom you have on hand. So, I mean, it works with anything, but for this particular dish, I like portobellos because they're just meaty and, thick.
They really are. Have you ever had king oyster mushrooms?
I feel like what do those look like?
Well, the giant ones look like just this, it almost kind of looks like this, but like very light colored, because one of the chefs here, Chef John from Faux Fresh, who's been on the show, he takes them and he uses this tool and he makes noodles out of them, not noodles that have wheat or gluten. Like, he actually turns the mushroom into a noodle to make his pho. It's the coolest thing I've experienced.
Yeah, I've seen that on your post that you go to that restaurant and he makes that for you. That's amazing. I think I was thinking of like lion's mane, but I don't think I've had the king oyster. The lion's mane, I've seen people make like a fried chicken looking thing out of. I have not attempted that yet, although I might, because I just saw some in the store. I have to get brave with that. Sometimes you just get like intimidated for no reason. It's so stupid because you just, make it and then it's fine. So.
Did you see that documentary about mushrooms? I can't remember the name of it. It was circulating in the plant-based community about how they're they're like alive, and they're not really vegetables. They're like in their own category.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of discussion about it, and now they're saying like we might have even come from mushrooms, and not. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it was really bizarre. It was kind of creepy, but it was very interesting.
No, I haven't seen it, but I would like to.
Yeah, I can't remember. If anybody remembers the name, please type it in the chat. I'd love to know. Right on. When are you going to have a real cookbook with all your delicious plant-based classics? That would be a great name, by the way, for a book. I don't know if it's taken. I'll look it up.
Yeah, you always have projects for me.
After you take the stand-up comedy class with me.
After I take stand-up comedy. I am starting a real project, and you're going to be involved. I'm starting a podcast with my friend Lisa. Remember Lisa?
Absolutely.
Right? And we're starting that. We're starting to record our first guests. So you are on the top of the list. So will you be on our podcast?
Absolutely, I will. Right, as long as you take my stand-up class.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get back to you on that one.
All right. It's only a few weeks. So that's great, though. I'm very excited for you.
excited. I'll give you more details as they become available, but yeah, we're getting going with that. So I'll let you know. But yeah, you always have projects for me, but they all sound good. All right, well, let me get started then with my fajitas, as my mom's friends from New York used to call them. Okay, so first we're gonna make the marinade because it'll go pretty fast. So like I said, you can use any kind of mushroom. I'm actually going to take the gills, which I learned that these are called gills on Chef AJ's show. When I made, what was I making? I think I was making portobello brisket, and I was just calling it the weird part. But I don't always take the gills out, but I'm going to take them out for this just because, I don't know, I feel like it this time. So you just get a little spoon and you scoop them out. You can totally eat these. And like I said, I usually do, but they look a little funky in your fajita. Okay. And then I'm going to wipe them down with a cloth.
That's a good name for a recipe, funky fajitas.
Funky fajitas.
I find that.
These are funky fajitas because that Chipotle gives it a kick. Oh, dang, I lost some of my mushroom. Yeah, I was experimenting with these. I'll show you the Chipotle. They used to have Chipotle, Frontera Chipotles at Whole Foods, and they don't have them these days. And I was using those, and they're pretty mild, and they don't have oil. Not mild, but you know, they don't kill you. And they don't have oil in them. But I could not find a brand without oil, so I had to order some online.
What was the name of the documentary, Fantastic Fungi?
Oh, maybe that's it.
If anybody knows, please put it in the chat. It just drives me crazy when I can't remember something.
I know you can't remember it.
Yeah.
Okay, so these, well, I'll get back to the Chipotle sauce, but just so you know, I had to order these online. Rollin Chipotle peppers. They will kill you. They are so hot. But so normally, you know, you just need to find a Chipotle pepper that doesn't have oil in it. Okay, and I'm just brushing the dirt off my mushrooms. You don't have to do a whole thing. Definitely don't wash them underwater. So I'm just going to slice these up. Oh, I thought I had this. Okay. All right, I'm just going to give them a little like rough cut, like just slice them like super easy. They still have a little bit of the gills in them, but they look fine. All right, let me go back to my other camera. We're going to make a marinade. And you know what? You don't even have to marinate these. If you were being lazy, you could just stick these in the pan. They taste totally fine. I've done it both ways, but I do like a little marinade. It just gives it a little something extra. Get my water. Okay, so we're just going to do a 1/3 cup of the secret coconut aminos. I'm going to just put it in my bowl. Guess I could have taken that top off and poured it a little faster.
You ever go to that restaurant you told me about in Austin that's either SOS free or close to being SOS free?
Casa de Luz?
Yeah.
That one? Do I go there?
Yeah.
Oh, I go all the time. I probably go like once a week. It's so good. When are you going to come to Austin?
I don't know. I've been there a couple times. I tried to have the guy on the show, but he was very difficult to get in touch with.
I should have told you not to book him in the first place. He's really probably not reliable. And he's just not one. You would think he would want to go on and talk about his restaurant, but he's just so not like that. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I just did a 1/3 cup of coconut aminos. I'm going to do a 1/3 cup of water. This is the marinade for the fajitas. 2 cloves of garlic, which I already crushed up. And the juice from half a lime. Got my handy dandy juicer.
I could say you put the lime in the coconut here.
Coconut. All around.
The lime in the coconut aminos and mix it up.
So you just you cut the lime in half and then you cut a little bit of that off on the end, and it helps the juice, helps it get juicier. Juice, oh, I should have zest this. Okay, juice from half a lime. I have more limes, don't worry. And I always wash, these are all pre-washed, my limes. I'm very organized today. And then, you know, if I'm going to zest it, I do wash it really well. So, and then I just got my microplane. I'm going to guess it about, it's just a teaspoon, so it's not very much. You don't want to overwhelm it with lime. You don't want to be overwhelmed. I think that's good. Call that a teaspoon. So that's just the marinade. And then I'm just going to throw mushrooms in there. Mix it up.
What are your preferred tortillas for fajitas?
I'm just doing corn tortillas. I was thinking about trying to figure out how to make like a potato one for you, but I didn't get that far. But yeah, I just use organic corn tortillas. Ooh,
Yeah.
this is good. It's very limey. But you could look at these big pieces. They're so good. Okay, so we're just going to let that sit while we make the rest. You can make it just like let it sit 30 minutes. It could be less. Like I said, I've made it without marinating them before, and it was all fine. It's hard to mess this dish up, really. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. So now, and you know, you could put in, like, we're going to put onions and red pepper and poblanos in with the fajitas. You could also marinate those, but I kind of just like that to have their own fresh flavor, and just the fajitas, the marinade, only for the mushrooms. But you could throw all the vegetables in with that marinade if you wanted to. You could do whatever you want. You are in charge. Okay, so now I'm just going to slice up the red pepper and poblano and the onion. That's going to go in the pan with the fajitas. Let me do this. So I won't keep this on the whole time. It's a little boring, but I'm going to slice the onions the long way instead of like dice them up. Just dice them up.
Sometimes I've seen actually the green onions or scallions used in fajita.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I like onions. I love the taste of onions, like pan-fried onions. I love that. And I love it with potatoes too. You could even do potatoes in this.
Yeah. Oh, that would be
That would
amazing.
be good too. I didn't think of that. A lot of times I put zucchini in. Let me do that. Let me set this back a little farther. Yeah, a lot of times I do zucchini with this, but I'm just going to do it this way this time. So just really basic onions, red peppers, and poblanos. I love poblano peppers. Have you watched anything good lately, Chef AJ? Like on Netflix or anything?
You mean like on like Netflix kind of thing? So we're on our third season of Ted Lasso, and I love that show, but I'm so disappointed in this season because it's like they're trying to make it like sad. And I watch things because I want a comedy, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm almost done, and so far I'm not loving it. I don't know how you guys feel about this season if you're watching it, but I think Extraordinary Attorney Woo is one of the best shows I've ever seen, and we recently finished that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've seen a few episodes of that. I forget why I got sidetracked with that, but it was really good. That one was really good. Ted Lasso, I stopped watching after the second season. I started getting like, I don't know, I got to get back into it though, but that makes me sad that they're trying to make it weird and sad.
It just feels very sad to me this season. So I don't know. Well, because it's the last season. So.
I just watched, it was really interesting, and it reminded me of when we were talking about Lessons in Chemistry, that book I was telling you about. Bombshell on Netflix. It's the Hedy Lamarr documentary. And who Hedy Lamarr is? She was like a star.
Absolutely, from a long
Yeah,
time ago. Yeah.
glamorous star in the late 30s, 40s, 50s. And she was actually a brilliant scientist. And the technology we use today for Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and safe communications, like satellite communications, is all her technology. She didn't get any credit. She didn't get any money. Like, isn't that crazy?
That's terrible, but it does sound like an interesting documentary. When you were measuring out the coconut aminos, Sherry said that was the biggest measuring cup she'd ever seen. What size is it?
That was a third cup. That was a third cup. Oh, is she talking about this?
Maybe it was the other one.
Water? I have a 4-cup thing of water. Maybe she was talking
Oh,
about.
that is big.
Yeah, it's 4 cups, but I just put water in here so I could use it for, to pour into my, so I don't have to go over to my sink right now. But yeah, I just put a 3rd cup of coconut aminos and a 3rd cup of water for that. Yeah, she was probably talking about that. I love this for like when I'm doing soups and stuff, and it says like to measure out, 4 cups or a quarter or whatever, so you don't have to keep doing like one after the other. Now I'm just cutting up my poblano. I love poblanos. But again, you could use any kind of peppers you want, really any kind of vegetables you want, but that go along with this. But this is my favorite. And poblanos aren't like spicy, because we're going to have a lot of spice. So I'm just trying to minimize some of the other kind of spice that I'm putting in here. Okay, so that's finished. This is going to go pretty fast, actually. Probably should have made some potato tortillas. I got to figure that one out.
I think it's probably possible.
I mean, it'd be like I don't know, like a really flat potato pancake, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so that's done. These are just the chopped veggies. I'm gonna put these on a plate so I can use my chopping board some more. Put these aside. This is a good dish to have, like when you have company over, because you can do a lot of it ahead of time. I always like dishes like that, so you're not stuck in the kitchen while everybody's socializing.
Right. And I like dishes where people can in some way serve themselves a little bit.
Yeah. And this is definitely one of those. They can come in and make their own plate.
And customize.
Customize. Like Burger King.
Have it your way.
Oh my God. When I think about like that, I actually ate that at one time in my life, ate Burger King. Like, can you even imagine? Doesn't that just blow your mind when you think about things like that now?
It's unfathomable.
Yes, that's what I think.
Unthinkable.
Conceivable.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna do mango salsa. So this is pretty standard. There's all kinds of ways to cut a mango. A lot of people will just slice it like this way if you're doing mango salsa, because you need like smaller pieces, but I'm just going to go ahead and still do the standard where you sort of feel around for the pit. It has this big pit that runs along the center. It's usually like right here. You can kind of poke around and feel for it. And then you just cut off a chunk like that. Let me do this under my camera. And then you score it. So you don't want to cut all the way through to the bottom. You just want to score it like this. I'm sure you've all seen this before. It's not much trick. And then you just pop it open like that.
That is so cool. Ann Esselstyn's done that. She puts a little raspberry in each like little crevice.
She puts a raspberry.
Yeah, like so before she cuts it, like she'll decorate it, like, make it pretty.
Oh my gosh.
Like, isn't that cool?
Yes. And you can just pop these right out. They just really pop right out. So yeah.
Are you wearing black nail polish?
It's gray.
It's cool.
It's like charcoal. Thank you. I use that, I buy it at Whole Foods, just that mineral nail polish. So it's not too toxic. Nail polish can be kind of toxic. They put a lot of really bad things.
That's what I hear.
They put a lot of bad things in everything, to be honest. So, you know, you got to pick and choose. I mean, I try to be really careful about a lot of things, but like, I'm still going to color my hair. And although I did just hear about this new place in Austin that has like non-toxic hair color, so I'm going to give them a try. I'll let you know how that goes. If I look all cuckoo next time, you'll know it didn't go very well. But okay. And then you just do the same thing to the other side, just trying to, you can kind of just cut till you feel that pit. And if you feel the pit, you just back off. And then same thing, you just score it. God, I love mangoes. They're just like candy. Aren't they so good?
Yeah, they're delicious. What are the difference? Like, what's the Alphonse and like, what are the different kinds, if you know?
This is the Alphonse. The other one, the one that's more green and red, I love those too, but they were all hard as a rock. So I ended up just getting these this time. But yeah, this is the Alphonse. I'm not sure. This one's really sweet. It's very delicious. Same thing. I'm just scoring it, popping it, and then just popping these out. Trying to get, I always get the skin at the bottom. That's not good. Yeah, I don't know what the red ones are called. Red? I'm not sure. This thing keeps falling down. But they're all really delicious. Oh, I'm gonna get that Ninja Creamy. Have you made? So I'm gonna get that for my birthday. I've decided.
Yeah, your birthday's soon.
It's Thursday.
Thursday. Well, happy birthday.
So I'm gonna be 150.
I'm gonna write this down. Your birthday's the 17th.
August 17th. I'm gonna be 55.
Wow, you can get, I think, a discount at the movies now.
Oh, goody. I could live in a retirement home too. All the good fun things. I never thought that this would happen to me. Why don't you think when you're young that you're going to be old?
That's what my next set in comedy is, totally about aging, you know?
Is it?
Oh.
Not that funny. It's, you just have to realize it's a privilege. Not everybody gets to age. So, and then you just get the big sides off of this. What are some of the things that you're going to talk about for aging in your stand-up set?
Well, I don't want to give it away in a 5-minute set, but just how hard it is. I'm actually going to sing a little parody song sung to the tune of Sunrise, Sunset.
Oh, that's going to be good. You're funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's going to be good. It is. It's hard. I just thought I'd be a lot, I don't know. I thought I'd just be a lot more accepting of aging, but it's super hard. It's not easy. So, I don't know. Just doing the best I can. That's actually what our podcast is going to be about too. It's called Age Like a Badass Mother. And, we're just going to talk about all the different things and how obviously it's going to be plant centric, because it's really not about what age you are, but just how healthy you are. Because if you're not healthy, then your life is poo-poo. It's crap, So as long as you can just keep healthy and keep moving and keep doing, and that's the good stuff. We're going to have Victoria Moran's going to be our first guest, and she's been on your show before, hasn't she?
Oh, she's wonderful. Many times. We did a couple of weeks dedicated to her Main Street Vegan Academy.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's like the original vegan. I'm doing I am like botching this mango up so badly. I guess I could have prepped this ahead of time, but this is going to go really fast anyway. So she's incredible. And I've taken her actually through the bundle that we did together. I did her Ayurveda class, and it was incredible. And I'm pretty much doing everything wrong, especially when it comes to sleeping. According to her, I should be going to bed at 9 o'clock, which is
That's
like
when I go to bed. That's funny.
a child. Well, you get up a lot earlier. I don't do a very good job, especially in the summer. I stay up too late. I sleep too late. I get up at like 8 in the morning, which is also, you know, way too late. You're supposed to get up early. You're supposed to get up with the sun. So I'm doing everything wrong. But I told her I was going to try, but then I really didn't. I tried like a couple days to go to sleep earlier, but I'm like, you know what? That's when my husband and I hang out a little. I don't know. He goes to bed super late. He really does everything bad. He goes to bed at like 3 in the morning. He will do that.
That's a little late, I think.
I would say, yeah, it's a little late.
Lauren, there's a question from Marilyn who's watching live, and she wonders if coconut aminos are very salty, and if so, is there something else she can use because she has high blood pressure?
I don't think they're salty at all. I think that this is actually let me look. The sodium. Oh, it does. It has 270 milligrams of sodium. So yeah, it is salty. What could you use? Let's see. Because Bragg liquid aminos is going to be saltier. Let me think a second. What would give it that umami? You know, I wonder if you could just use like a teaspoon or a tablespoon. Let me see what the Bragg liquid aminos.
You know, coconut aminos is pretty low in sodium, but there's one brand, and I cannot remember the name, and I don't think Sharon McCrae is watching to tell me, that's even lower, but it's the same principle. Let me text her and see if I can find out for y'all.
Yeah, this one has more. The Bragg liquid aminos has 310 milligrams. So is you know, I'm not even up on like, and then I give this all a rough chop. I'm going to give it more of a rough chop for my mangoes. I'm not even sure how much sodium you're supposed to have in a day, or like what's too much, because to be honest, my blood pressure is good. I don't have to worry about it. I should probably know a little bit more about that, just for, you know, people I'm cooking for. Do you know?
You mentioned blood pressure, because I was at the dentist today. I told you that's why I was a few minutes late. And my blood pressure, I don't eat salt, and I'm, you know, fairly healthy. And so my blood pressure usually runs, I mean, 90 over 60 would be high for me. Usually it's much lower. And so I'm at the dentist, which nothing makes me more nervous. And it's like, and they thought it was fine. My blood pressure there was like, you know, 130 over 80. And they go, oh, you're fine. I'm like, that's not my blood pressure. It's just, that's my dentist's blood pressure, you know?
Yeah, that was because you were nervous.
Oh, it's nothing that makes me more nervous than the dentist.
Yeah.
Since I'm little, I have such a phobia of those guys.
It's scary. Yeah, last time I was at the dentist, my blood pressure was like 95 over like 55 or 60. And they were like, oh my God, we've never even seen this like in a grown-up. I'm like, well,
isn't that funny?
I know. Okay, so I got my mangoes, my 2 mangoes chopped. And now I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of red onions. Keep my onions in this little onion keeper. I love this thing.
Oh, can I make a suggestion for Marilyn or anybody else that really cannot?
I forgot about Marilyn. I'm sorry, Marilyn, please.
Yeah, no, but a thought just came to me, because I don't really like the taste of salty things. And so when I've marinated things like mushrooms, what I've used is California balsamic. And so for fajitas, I might do a flavor like their sweet heat or blazing habanero, or maybe even their Gilroy garlic. And I've used that in recipes that would call for coconut aminos or tamari.
I think that's an excellent suggestion. Thank you. I knew you were going to think of something.
Thank you.
I knew I didn't have to think of it all by myself.
I forgot for a minute, but that's what I do, because it's got the dark color. It's got the, you know, it's just, it works really well.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, now I'm just doing, oh, that's 1/3 cup. I want to do a 1/4 cup of red onions. Yeah, that's a good idea, Chef AJ. You're so smart, pretty, funny. You got all the things going on. Look at you.
And she's vegan.
Okay. This is a chopping kind of day. All right, let me chop faster. I'm gonna chop these chunky so I can just do it fast. And you don't have to measure. I don't measure. I'm just measuring, you know, to show you, but all right, so I'm gonna call that a 1/4 cup. Red peppers, and then a couple teaspoons of diced cilantro. My cilantro is looking a little sad here, but I just cut it up. A couple tablespoons of this. I just get my scissors and I just start. You can use the stems, you can use everything. Stems have lots of flavor. I love cilantro. I do not taste it like soap like some people do. That's so funny to me, but I get it. I can kind of see how it is. I think I've talked about it before. I have that thing with beets where I just hate beets, but I really still try to eat them anyway. And I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm starting to develop like a little tolerance for them. I don't hate them nearly as much as I used to.
Let me ask you, do you hate them in all ways? Because I find that my husband hates them too. I don't think he's watching. But when I've spiralized them and they've just been a little bit in a salad, he doesn't even know what they are when they're raw, and he doesn't seem to hate them as much.
Well, like I said, I can't tell because I'm really building up a tolerance, I think. I started buying those ones at Trader Joe's, and I think they have them at Whole Foods too. They seem to be peeled and steamed, and I'll slice them up and I'll put them in my salads, and they're not too terrible. But yeah, I can't say I'm a fan. Spiralized, I don't like them spiralized. I think they're too, I don't know. But again, I'm still eating them. I still put them in my salad, and it's been several years now where I really started trying to eat them, and I'm doing better. I think I'm doing good. I'm not hating them quite as much, but they taste like dirt to me. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a little bit of jalapeno, like a tablespoon, and I'm going to cut out the seeds from the middle because, like I said, we're already going to have enough heat with the chipotle in there, so I don't want to have like too much spice in the jalapeno. So I'm just gonna slice up a little bit of jalapeno, just maybe a tablespoon. I'm gonna eyeball that. I'm gonna dice this one a little bit thin. I don't want to have big pieces of jalapeno in there. Okay. And then we're just gonna you're gonna have to taste this and see how limey your lime is and how much juice comes out of it. I'm going to say start with a juice of a half a lime. But first I'm going to zest it before I juice it. So again, we're just going to have about a teaspoon of zest. So not a ton. So again, that was 2 mangoes, 1/4 cup of red onions, 1/4 cup of red pepper, 2 tablespoons of cilantro, a tablespoon of jalapeno, and now about a teaspoon of zest. And then I'm going to cut off the ends of this, cut it in half, and juice it. Let's start with the juice in half. And if you use salt, you can put salt in it. I don't put salt in this. I don't think this needs any salt at all. I like it better limey, but there are some people I know who are still getting used to this way of eating. I think that wasn't very much citrus at all, so I'm going to go ahead and do the whole lime. That's why you have to judge for yourself. So I'm going to do the juice from the whole lime. But if you're just getting used to this way of eating, ooh, look how pretty that is. I love that. Okay, let me give it a taste. Oh, I love that. It is very limey. It's so good. Okay. Now we're going to make, here's my water, I'm choking. Okay, now we're going to make the Chipotle Pecan sauce. And then we're going to cook everything and then it's going to be done. This is like such a fast meal. Okay, so now we're going to do the Chipotle Pecan sauce. Now this is where you have to be really careful. I'm gonna start toasting up my pecans. So it's 1 cup of pecans. I'm just gonna toast them a little tiny bit. Let's see. I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna start with, like I was saying, this brand is like fire. It's like fire in a fire pit. So I'm just gonna start with a little bit, and I'm gonna take the seeds out of this. I'm gonna just go over my sink and take the seeds out because I learned my lesson. I was used to that Frontera brand, and I put 2 in the first time, and I had to literally throw everything away. Okay, I'm gonna take the seeds out. Yeah, I like took 1 bite. I put 2 whole chipotles in. I took 1 bite of the sauce and I choked and I threw it in the garbage. So that's fail number 1. So, like I always say, don't be afraid to try things. You can usually doctor them up, but if you put too much spice in something, then you cannot doctor that up. Okay, so I got my pecans toasting. I don't want to get them too toasty, just a little bit, just to bring out some flavor. I'm going to start with a little bit of that. 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to do 1.5. I'm going to start with 1, but go up to like 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. This is so yummy. I think I'm going to use my little half hand so I can dig this out. Okay, I'm just going to start with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I always add more. I'm going to turn off my pecans. And then I'm going to do, again, 1 to 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, but just start with 1. See how you like it. You can taste it. You don't want to make it too sweet for you. Start with 1.
Hey, Lauren, my friend Sharon texted me about the coconut aminos. It's lower in sodium. The one that I just found it and I'm going to post a link. It's 75 milligrams per tablespoon.
Oh, wow.
How much is yours per tablespoon?
It was a lot. It was like 270 per tablespoon.
So
What's the name of that?
this is 75% less sodium then.
What's the name of that brand?
I'm finding it right now.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm going to put it in the chat and tell you, but just
I'm gonna buy that. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I see it on Amazon, so let me get it for you.
I always kind of, and it's funny because I usually read labels, and I guess I didn't read labels on this one because I was thinking, oh, I think this is lower in sodium than Bragg liquid amino, which it is, but not by a ton, really. Okay, so I put in this, and then I'm going to put in 1.5 cups of water.
I think it's still lower in sodium than, say, low sodium tamari.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm putting my water in before I put my pecans in, because don't forget they're toasty now, they're warm. And you want to burn up your blender, make it all hot. And I'm not like a huge nut person, that I use a lot of nuts, but this is a sauce for a drizzle. And so it makes it so creamy and delicious. And so I think it's fine to go ahead and have a little drizzle of something like this on your. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start my Vitamix.
Okay, I'll talk to the troops while you're there. And guys, I'm putting it in. First of all, the recipes are in the show notes now. If you're watching on Facebook, unfortunately, or Twitter, you can't see show notes. So that's why we appreciate when you watch on YouTube. So you can see that there. And in the chat and in the show notes, I'm putting the link to the lower sodium coconut aminos with 75 milligrams per tablespoon. It's called Dynamic Health. And there was a question about the tool that Chef John uses to make the mushrooms. I don't know the name of the tool. It's easily available any place like a Bed Bath and Beyond. I mean, I could grab mine on the air. It's like what you do, like, for example, if you have a carrot or zucchini and you want to make like little shreds, it's not an expensive tool. The thing is, it's very difficult to do. And he says he's the only one that can do it, really, that can do it well, because it's not easy. And I think he might have even done it on the show. So I think I'm caught up with the questions. And do we still have tickets yet to the September conference? We have a few left, and early bird expires soon. So we hope to see you. Well, Trader Joe's are 200 milligrams per tablespoon. So Rich, this is about 66% less than. So that's a significant savings.
All right, that sounds good. I just tasted it. I'm adding a little more cinnamon and a little more maple syrup. And it's not too spicy, it's good. Okay. I think this is good. I might have put a little too much water. So maybe don't put the whole 1.5 cups. Maybe start with a cup and then just measure it, and it's good. Okay. All right. Now it's going to go really fast from here. All right. So all we're going to do is just start cooking everything now. Move my overhead camera. Let me see if I can do that without ruining my kitchen. Move this closer. Ooh. Okay, actually. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now I'm just going to let that heat up for 1 second. And I'm going to start with my, where did I put all my stuff? My onions. Okay, start with my onions. Mix them up a little bit. It's okay. The peppers get in with the onions. It'll be fine. I'm talking to myself down. I'm just kidding. It's all
And that looks just like it does when you get fajitas.
yeah.
That kind of cut.
Cooking it up a little bit. But yeah, it's going to go really fast. Okay, I already have my oven heated up to 250. And I'll show you. So I just used organic corn tortillas, and I'm going to steam them up in the oven. So I'm just going to put 2 in for right now. The way you steam them is you just put a little pan of water in there in your oven. So just on the lower shelf, you just put like a little thing, and that way the tortillas won't get hard. This is really only going to take a second, so I probably shouldn't do this yet. Actually, I'm just going to put the water in there right now. I'm not going to mess with that because it'll be all overcooked. Okay. Man, the kitchen gets crazy, gets so messy. Okay, how are these going? Getting a little stir.
Okay, Marley says, why did you cut the onions the way you did? But that's how they do it for traditional fajitas every time I've seen.
The onions any way you want. It's all going to taste the same, but it just gives you like more real estate. You know, if you dice them, then you can't taste them as much. You want like a big chunk of onion in there so you can taste it really well. And let's see, I might put a splash of water just to get that going in there. Steam it up a little.
Did you take the seeds out of the poblanos? Asks Sherry.
Yes, I took the seeds out of everything today. I took them out of the poblanos. I took them out of the jalapeno. I took them out of the chipotles because those chipotles are still so spicy, even with the, you know, just taking the seeds out. So I took the seeds out of everything. And it's still going to be spicy. But you know what? It's up to you. You have to, if you like a lot of spice, and you can leave the seeds in there. And I've even heard that that's not where the spice comes from, but I think it does. I think that definitely if you leave the seeds in, it's spicier. Okay. Turning the heat up, and cook my onions a little more. Let's wait for those. It's a lot of chopping and waiting today. This might not have been the best dish, but it's going to taste yummy.
That's
Like
okay.
it. Not the best dish for demonstrating. Okay, the onions are starting to go now. You'll see. Let me show you. You can see that they're starting to soften up. Let me put my light on up there. A little more water. Going. Yeah, I used to work in a Mexican restaurant when I was like 18 years old. I was in college in Houston. It was called Cuellar's. If anybody remembers that, from Houston. And we had to carry the trays up like this above our heads. And, you know, it was just carrying platters of sizzling fajitas all day long. And my head smelled like fajitas. My car smelled like fajitas. I wouldn't eat fajitas for like 5 years after that. It was, but now I love it. It's such a good meal. It had like fajita PTSD. And I was a terrible waitress. And carrying one of these trays one time, I sneezed and I went like this. Oh, shit. And when I leaned back to sneeze, like everything fell off the tray behind me into like a big potted plant. It was.
Oh, that's a great story. Hey,
Yeah.
think of like fajita seasoning, like I've seen it's even salt free. I think Frontier makes it. I think I have some on the shelf. I've even used it like on potato air fries.
Oh, yeah. That would be fantastic. I just did, I think I left the cumin out of this now that I'm thinking about it. There's supposed to be cumin in the marinade. But yeah, that would be phenomenal. You could do that in the marinade. You could do that. You could do, yeah, that would be great to do fajita seasonings. You know, it's weird, like for fajitas, I don't know why. I just love just the natural taste of all the vegetables. And then I think I like the toppings for the seasonings. That's just my personal opinion, but yeah, that would be phenomenal to have fajita seasoning and it'd be delicious. Okay. Yeah, and you could do that just on the vegetables. You could do that in the marinade. Now I'm just gonna put this in here and let that go for a little bit. And I love this pan too. This is Scan Pan. I think I've talked about that before. I love my Scan Pan. It's just like non-stick. It's non-stick, it's non-toxic, it's works really well.
Where do you get one?
Online, like scanpan.com probably, and no affiliation with them. I just like it. I'm going to put my tortillas in the oven now, even though they're going to cook really quickly. You could also, if you wanted to steam them, you could just wrap them in like a paper towel and kind of wet it and stick it in the microwave for like 20 seconds. You could do it that way. There's all different ways. Now, also, if you wanted to put some of this marinade in with the vegetables, you could do that too. Like I said, I don't know why I'm like such a purist with my vegetables versus my marinade for this, but I like it just kind of separate. Keep losing my spoon. Cook up, baby. Oh, the onions are starting to get brown. Yum, look.
I know there's nothing like onions that are,
Oh,
and people think they need oil for that. You really don't.
you really don't. I did put a drop. Oh, look, it's starting to brown already. And you can put a little drop of liquid in there if you want, but yeah, everything's starting to brown a little bit. I love, like I was saying, I love a brown onion, and I just love onions, brown onions with potatoes. My dad, I guess when I was little, my dad would make like omelets like that, and he'd put onions and potatoes, but I always loved that flavor together. It's so good. Okay, let me check on my tortillas. I mean, they're already really ready. You don't have to cook them very long. And that way they, they don't get crunchy. They just get nice and steamy. They're ready on the plate. You can do like refried beans in this. I didn't. You could also do avocado. I didn't do that either because I don't eat a lot of avocados. I save those for restaurant emergencies when I go to a restaurant and there's nothing to eat, an avocado and a tortilla or something. But that would also make it really creamy and really good. Oh, I forgot. I like to put a little crunch in there. I'm going to get my coleslaw. I love it. I always have this in the house, just coleslaw mix. I put it in my salad.
I love that. I love that. They sell that everywhere.
Everywhere. It's so good. And, these are just so good for you. All the little cruciferous vegetables, all the cabbage, and then it has carrots in it. And I'm just going to chop up a little tiny bit of this.
I put that coleslaw mix in everything, like my salad. I've been doing a lot of wraps. I love it.
I saw all your wraps.
Yeah. Are you going to make them? Do you have a
do you have to buy like a pan or something?
Yeah, there's like $14 for the things that you put the batter in.
Where do you
Amazon? Just Amazon.
Where do you get anything? That was
I know. Like, do we even go to a store anymore?
I know.
It's just so quick, and you don't have to drive. That's why I know a lot of people don't like Amazon, but man, it's like same day sometimes.
I know. It's crazy. Somebody posted a quote from, I don't know if it's really from Kurt Vonnegut or not, but he was saying like, oh, I have to go to the store and buy an envelope. And his wife's like, just buy it online. And he's like, but if you go to the store and you buy an envelope, then you can look at all the babies and you can make chit chat with the people and you can pet the dogs. And I was like, there is something to that, like where you just miss that human interaction, but it's also very convenient to, when you're running around and you have a million things to do, to just order something from Amazon. So there's that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's a start. Oh, look at those onions. I have the heat up pretty high on this.
Question from Debbie: can you use frozen mango?
Frozen mango? Oh, I knew somebody was going to ask me that. I haven't done it, but I bet you it would be fine as long as you defrosted it really well first.
And maybe put it in a drainer. So there's.
Yeah, I would drain it, defrost it, drain it, like wipe it down. I think it would be okay. You know what? You can always try and see. Just do it with one first. Don't do like two whole, just do a small batch and test it out, but give it a whirl, see how it goes. Don't be afraid to try. I'm going to get something out of here. I'll do it like that because I want to make this pretty. Sauce. I'm going to pour my sauce into here. Got my little funnel, just pour my sauce in there so I can make it look pretty on here. I always like to make my plates look pretty. We eat with our eyeballs, don't we?
Not literally, but yes.
Thank you. We don't literally eat with our eyeballs, but yeah, it's just nice when it looks good. And my kitchen does not look good now. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna just go ahead for time's sake and pour these mushrooms in. You could cook these a little more. Oh, man. It's my favorite.
Wow, that looks perfect and beautiful.
No good. Turn it down a tiny bit before I set my kitchen on fire. And like I said, look at all that marinade. I could be pouring that in there. You definitely can do that. Can do your, okay. So I'm gonna, well, I'll put that on the top. Let me see. Okay, so this is really ready. The mushrooms need to cook like 5 minutes, but I'm gonna put them in here because you don't need to watch that cook for 5 more minutes. So I'm just gonna pretend it's really ready. And I'm gonna take some out and put it in here. I won't eat it. Put it back and cook it a little more. This is just for you. So let me. Put some out, get all the good colors in there. Okay. So I got my fajitas in there. Next, I'm going to put the crunchy cabbage, just a little. Then I'm gonna, it doesn't matter what order you put this in, by the way, I'm sure you obviously know that. I'm just trying to make it look pretty. So now I'm gonna put my mango salsa. Just give it a little drain so you don't have a bunch of lime juice in it, like pouring out. And then give it a little squeeze of my Chipotle lime sauce, Chipotle pecan sauce. Let me see. Why can't you see that?
I'm seeing the pan right
Oh,
now.
my thing, I was trying to put my camera on it. It's not working. Let me see. Come over here. What's wrong with you, camera?
I've actually added rice sometimes to my fajitas, like in
Rice? Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
good. Look, it's still finding the last thing. That's so weird. Okay, this is not cooperating. So I just have to do it the old-fashioned way like this. Can you see it?
You make food that looks like a restaurant.
You see, they got to just put their little sauce in there and squirt it on there. Yeah, you like to make it look pretty, so it looks good. You eat with your eyeballs. You don't really eat with your eyeballs, according to Chef AJ. But that's it. It's really good, and it's just a lot of chopping. But you know, you actually can buy pretty much everything that I chopped already chopped. So that's it.
Very, very good. So next month, we have the Jewish holidays. Rosh Hashanah is on the 15th. Do you have any foods that are suitable for Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur fast breaking? Or like we talked about simmus before. I think you didn't like simmus.
No simmus.
Okay.
I don't know. You want me to make something like that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it, but I think you're coming on before because the second. I think it is before. I don't know, just a suggestion because I don't think there's any other September holidays. There's going to be Halloween, but that's not until October. So you got plenty of time for that.
Yeah, I know. I never seem to do good on taking your suggestions. It's the last time you told me to make something for the summer. Eat, don't heat. And I didn't do that.
You did take my
That's why.
suggestion. You took my suggestion for French onion soup, and that was an
I did.
amazing presentation and an amazing recipe. Guys, if there's something special you'd like Lauren to think about, she does plant-based classics, so she likes to take classic things, like the Reuben sandwich, macaroni and cheese, things we love before before vegan, and make them healthy.
Yeah. So and you can email me at lauren@wellelephant.com if you think of something later. And I'll try and work it in there. I do love suggestions. It gets me thinking, of what I can make. But yeah, I'll think of it and I'll try to do something good with less chopping next time.
Yeah. And or whoever said that you went on Amazon and it said that many, did you use the link that I provided? Because that's the link that we've used, and it's only been the amount of sodium. So I don't know if you just went on Amazon by yourself or you actually use the link I provided. So see if you use the link I provide and if you get a lower sodium, because I don't think they changed their formula. They used to have it at Clark's Nutrition when I lived in the desert, but I haven't seen it in person since. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get that. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the show notes. Well, Lauren, thanks for another fabulous presentation.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I love being on here, Chef AJ.
We love having you, and you always look so nice and your food looks so nice, and congratulations on starting your podcast. Do you have a name for it yet?
Age Like a Badass Mother.
Okay.
So it's not up and running yet. It's probably going to be a few months. We're starting to record our guests now, though. But I'll keep you posted.
So we have a suggestion for lemon bars.
That's good. You know what? I've never been like a huge baker. I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
Okay, that might be a good suggestion.
Have you done what else? How about spanakopita?
Oh my gosh.
Because that used to be delicious. It had so much cheese and phyllo and so much butter. And
Dang, I don't know. Okay, that's one to think about. I don't know if I could redo that. That'd be
Debbie says, happy birthday. Happy birthday. You have any special plans for your birthday?
Just hanging out with some friends. On my actual birthday, I'm gonna go to dinner and a movie with my kids and my husband, and I don't know.
What are you going to see?
Yeah.
What movie are you going to see?
I don't know. I've already seen Barbie and Oppenheimer, so I don't even know.
I know I should have worn this to the Barbie movie. My husband. Think about it. There were so many people dressed like Barbie and Ken. That was great. How was Oppenheimer? It's just so long. That's what's scaring me away.
I know. I was so against sitting through. I cannot sit for that long, and I really hesitated. I liked it.
I heard it was very loud.
Yeah, it was loud. But
people should bring earplugs when they go.
Yes. They missed some good opportunities. Like, they didn't even show any Japanese people in the movie. Don't you think they could have shown? I mean, they showed how he struggled with what he created, but they didn't show any of the real effects of what happened. Which is fine, because I mean, it's disgusting and gory and horrific. But I think you also maybe need to see a little bit of that. But it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's not my kind of movie. I'm kind of.
It's not mine.
Yeah, I know it'll be up for every award. So yeah. I like movies, I like light movies. Like we saw Haunted Mansion. We kind of like more light comedy type movies. I'm not into really, life is already deep and serious enough,
I agree with you 100%.
Right. A lot of wishes from the viewers saying happy birthday. All right. Well, thanks. Whatever you decide.
Thanks, everybody.
I can't wait to see you next month.
I can't wait to see you.
All right. See you in person one day in California.
Okay.
Preferably. Thanks, Lauren. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back a bit later tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time when we have vinegar and spice and everything nice with California balsamic and local spicery. They're going to be making Chipotle vegan quinoa salad, cilantro quinoa salad, vegan portobello carnitas, tacos. Wow, what a coincidence. And let's see, and 3 salad dressings using some of their signature